This story did not begin in the wealthiest of wombs, or streams flowing with liquid gold and silver spoons dipped into stews garnished with privilege. In this story, the king was once a peasant, a humble son to parents of humble means. A firm hand on the farm, shepherds of rolling herds fetching feed for the famished of the flock. There was no power in his homestead, but everyone agreed. His heart shone with the radiance of 1,000 fireflies, regardless of how dark the night. These were different times, grassroots times. Kojoli was the place he first learned to dream, under the soft glow of crackling firewood flame, to ask, what miracle can these proper hands grow, and to pray the prayer of a seed in dirt. But dirt is a fertile ground for the germination of being. This story, from the wind-swept northeastern landscapes in all their glorious barrenness, with the gates of his father's house shut against the penetration of Western education, it seemed like the future would be full of doors no son of Garba would be able to unlock. But destiny is a dogged shadow, chasing and chasing until it caught him in Jada. God bless Kawu Ali, who had learned to believe. Even in those grassroots times grazed by doubt, he would register the little dreamer in a school and did not scorn his baby steps as if to say, yes, even the Iroko was once a tender seedling, learning to survive the rage of seasons. So dream, let the stars guide you. This story is about the path the dreamer towed through toil and tremor, tempest and tide, eating failure like yams. Some of them were hard to swallow, but it takes a man thirsty for triumph to keep watering his spirit when losses come encroaching like desert sands. Orphaned at 11, mother's heart gave up when the star of a chap began to glisten. He faced the world with a wrestled smile. Someone once said, grace is God's gift to you, but discipline is the gift you give yourself. Tito Yodetdo. This is Atiku, and Lord knows it takes a man yearning for mastery to refuse to open the door when the urge to give up comes knocking. This is Atiku, giving back generously to the very land that turned its back on him. Mounted castles where only shacks once stood. This is Atiku, who does not just say education is the key, but has forayed into the fairy furnace to forge many keys for our children. The man who has stood the test of age and times, who has ascended realms only few have dreamt. This is Atiku, battled the pressures of the Echelon to return to us as the diamond in the sky, who has scattered his seeds of unity in a land fragmented by shallow loyalties. Atiku, the man who has built empathy out of resentment, resilience out of defeat, and grace out of grass. This is Atiku, wazirin Adamawa, namiji barkono, mai akuya yayi tafiyan dare ma bale mai kura, ai wajen saukan doki ba wajen saukan jirgi bane ba, kuma koda kura baya cizo ai ba za a hada ta da rago ba, kuma mun san cewa kowa na Allah ne, amma dai damo ai na mai gona ne. This man, willing to speak our problems into the light and articulate solutions for the good of all. Atiku, the man for whom our collective struggle is but a deja vu, and trust the man who has done it once to do it again. For out of Jada, a bud of hope has risen like a prophecy, and this time it will not wither in vain. By the light of his heart and the willingness of the people as active stakeholders in the business of actualizing the greater tomorrow we all dream. Nigeria, the universe is calling. It is our time to answer.
Hi guys, good morning and welcome to another exciting time out here on your favorite morning show, Every Woman on AtikuLive. My name is Tiana Wadbasi, and guess who's back in the studio? Hi IJ, it's good to have you back.
Hi Tiana, good morning. Good morning everybody, welcome to another exciting episode. Like she said, my name is Ichoma.
So IJ has been out of the studio for a couple of weeks now. I mean, she's been on the field. IJ, just give us first-hand experience. Has it been like going through the whole campaign season and being on the field?
I mean, it's a lot of stress, to be honest, and it just makes you appreciate how much effort goes in, even by the candidates, because I mean, you're one person, you don't have to be everywhere, but the candidate has to be in every meeting, every state to state, and that's really a whole lot to wake up in the morning. It just shows you. And I was online, I was seeing where they said he went to Dubai to go and get treatment. Like, no, this man has been waking up from one place to another. He seems to be the only one really doing campaigns right now. He's everywhere. And you see so much energy. He's in this place. You see him with so much energy. That's exactly how fit he is. I'm ready
for I'm ready for Nigeria come 2023. But I was watching. Of course, we're actually having live feeds from the field, and we saw the mammoth crowd from Uyo to Kaduna to Edo.
It's amazing. Like it just goes to show you. I wonder where they were getting the 1 million, you know, these matches and this one. I mean, the crowd there, it was amazing. And to see people that, you know, that it wasn't a hired crowd. It was so easy to see that these people were very passionate. In Edo, for example, you saw the persons with disability. They were out there. Yeah. And it was just very, very impressive. Everybody was so happy. And despite the incidents in Kaduna, I mean, I saw somebody who was on top of a light. I mean, it was amazing. People climbed this because they wanted to see him, because they wanted to get to him. The people really are, you know, they are craving for him. It's just amazing. The energy is really amazing.
All right, so today we're still actually examining the 5-point agenda of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Like I said yesterday, and I said this is like a platform where we get to tell Nigerians and show Nigerians that this is what this candidate is all about. We're not just marketing someone who isn't fit or ready to take up the responsibilities of Nigerians or to keep Nigerians on his shoulder and move along with him. But we're marketing someone who is ready to take up this responsibility and have seen the need to make sure Nigeria prospers across board. And we're still going to be looking at his 5-point agenda from now. And for everything we're going to be discussing from now until the 2023 elections, we're going to be pinpointing most of the key things he has said, because he is the only one that's actually presented us a written document to tell us that, okay, this is what I'm going to work with. If I don't keep to this, you can hold me accountable for the shortest of time. We just have to keep going and going. And let's talk about the Kaduna attack, because you made mention of it when you were trying to tell us how your experience was on the field. And you said, despite what happened in Kaduna, we heard about it, and the candidate came out to condemn about what happened in Kaduna. We know where it came from, but it just brings me to wonder why the opposition parties would resort to hiring talks to disrupt a peaceful campaign that was going on in Kaduna. So you just give us first-hand experience of what happened in Kaduna.
I mean, I saw His Excellency's tweet after, a while after. Yeah. I saw Senator Shehu Sani's tweet. I saw a couple of other tweets, and I saw how people try to politicize those tweets, how they came out to say this and that. And you know, when we say things and we say these people, we see people getting killed and they say 2,000 people killed or this, and we say these are not just numbers, these are actual people. Yeah. And then when I saw these people putting out trying to politicize this tweet and say things, I don't know, I felt very sad, because these are people. And for you to sit in the comfort of your house and come out and say, these people are making things up, this one, that one, is a wrong thing. Let's say things as they are. And I'm not going to try to paint this in any way. I'm saying it as simple and as plain as it was that day, because I was there. So there was a rally in Uyo, there was a rally in Edo, and in each of these rallies, there's a green area. This is where the support groups stay, you know, and it's allowed. Your support group, you're there to support the candidates. You have to be there. That's what you came to do. You have to be recognized. You have to be there. And they were called on. You know, they opened the green area for support groups to come in and stay. That's where they stay. And at a point, it's important for us to note this. I mean, because we are there, right beside that stage, at a point, we saw rooms. And this, I'm not politicizing this. We saw brooms.
Stating it just as it is.
This is how it is. I don't care how people might interpret this, but there were brooms everywhere and there was a surge. The moment brooms showed up at that rally, that's violence just erupted. And that's the truth. That's the simple way it is. They were climbing on fences. They were taking off the PDP flags that were there. And then there were just brooms everywhere. The next thing we knew, there was a stampede. And, you know, in that whole madness, a lot of things got stolen. It was just a lot of, even the security officers were doing their best to try and control the crowd to the best of their ability. They were trying to control the crowd. At the point, they even had to, even the local vigilantes had to come in to show you how serious this was. Vigilantes had to come in. They started trying to hold people back. And for a lot of media houses that had come there, that was the end of the event. Of the event. Because nobody could continue in that crowd. They were literally people on the stage who had climbed the stage, and it was just violence everywhere. And we came out, we saw people that had been slashed. I saw somebody whose face had been slashed with it. There was blood. It was just a gory sight. And I wondered why a governor will allow that to happen in state, regardless. I mean, APC has rallies in PDP states. Nothing happens to them. You care about the people, because at the end of the day, this violence was not meted out on PDP, but on Kaduna State people. Yes. By the governor of.
So you had your indigents suffering from what you actually allowed because of
when it comes
politics.
To certain things, when it comes to security, people's lives, it's not something you politicize. It's not something you come and say, oh, I'm in this party, I'm in this party. These are people's lives, and primarily these are your citizens. You're the chief security officer of that state. It is your job to ensure, if you don't have citizens to govern, then why are you there? You will not have any reason to be there. And it was so sad that people were trying to turn this into politics. Broom showed up at that place, violence erupted. And that's the simple fact. And we have it on camera. True. If you watch that stream from AtikuLive, you will see it there. The moment you start seeing brooms, that's when you see the violence.
It just goes far to show you the kind of party or the what is made up of the All Progressive Congress, because I mean, you have a peaceful campaign ongoing and you just release talks to disrupt a campaign. And then I was talking about it yesterday. We had to talk about it briefly. We said in the course of this show that we have over 65% of the Nigerian constitution that are youth. So you actually take joy or derive joy in engaging the youth wrongly.
Because these youths have had their future stolen. I don't know if you understand how difficult this is for them. Now, these people have come to the point that as simple. I mean, I heard that in some places they pay them as little as 10,000 naira to destroy villages, to burn down villages. And people take this money because now they have no value for their lives anymore.
And I wonder what 10,000 naira can actually fetch for somebody in today's Nigeria.
People are impoverished. They've impoverished the people. So 10,000 naira to you might not be a lot, but to somebody, that is enough money to go out and destroy people's lives. That's enough money. And you will be shocked that some of these people who had been paid to come there might not even have gotten that much. Maybe 2,000, 5,000, and they would have still come there and set the whole place ablaze. And that's what it is. That shows you how much they've impoverished Nigerians, how much Nigerians are suffering under this government. For somebody to take that kind of money to kill another person or to harm another person, it shows you what has been
in a state that has a sitting governor and who was actually present in the state. It's not as if he was out of town.
A governor that let's look at look at this in perspective. Now, whilst this rally was going on, Asiwaju Tinubu was also in Kaduna State. He was at the Arewa House for the
joint Arewa committee meeting.
Yes, and the governor of Kaduna State made a statement at that event where he said that when he came to Anambra State to contest, the candidate of the Labour Party, I got him arrested. And he said, this man is going to come to his state now. He's in his state. He's going to do this and do that. That if, look at how, like, it was kind of allegation like, I could get you back. I could unleash terror. I could just unleash terror on you.
Coming from number one citizen of a state.
Of a state. So if he could say that, then how can we be so sure that he wasn't behind the attacks? I mean, for somebody who says that sort of thing, for you to come out and, say that you can retaliate, you can do this. And let's not forget that in 2019, this was the same person that accused people or that threatened people that they will live in body bags if they interfered in state politics. That they will live in body bags. So this is the same person that we're in the state, and you're seeing in talks from that party coming in to attack people. Well, how can we say that he's unaware or he does not have his hands involved in, you know, this. I mean, it's shady.
I think I was when I was going through reports from that the piece because he had already had a strategy to disrupt the election, disrupt the 2023 election, and it's so sad for him because he's not aware that Nigerians have understood what it is about, has actually understood politics, and it's not going to be politics as usual. 2023 election is going to be very peaceful, and whoever thinks he would want to steal the mandate by violence, it's really shocking. I'm sure they are going to be shocked.
He has released his own manifesto, Renewed Hope 2023, which is anything but hope. There's anything but hope in that document, really. And I was reading these are just the same promises that were made in 2019 and 2015 that has materialized to nothing. These are the same promises that you're coming back and you're telling us to have renewed hope. I mean, this government is not ready. And when you come to security,
talking about renewed hope we're actually going to look at security because it's deteriorating by the day.
He doesn't have any plans for security. I mean, he says this and this and this, and how are you going to do them? How do you actually intend to do this thing? No explanation.
I read on social media that the presidential candidate for the Labour Party was actually asked on live television, Arise TV, what his plans was for insecurity in Nigeria, considering the high rate of insecurity, and he said he wasn't going to say anything. He wasn't going to say
even his vice.
He wasn't going to say anything on that. Anyway, we're going to go have a very quick break. When we're right back, we're still looking at Alhaji Atiku's Abubakar'S 5-point agenda, and our focus today is on safety and security. Don't go nowhere. Stay with us.
Growing up as a little boy, we were told every day that we were the leaders of tomorrow. Good roads, stable power supply, good education, job opportunities, political inclusion, better health care, reduction of the cost of living were some of the things we were promised in tomorrow. We were so excited about the hope we had been fed with about tomorrow. But days went by, years went by, and tomorrow never came. Turned out there was never really a plan for tomorrow. It was all a lie to keep us in their mental slavery. Because with each day that goes by, I see my country being stripped of her glory. But we know better now. We are more aware now. It is time to take our country back from these hijackers who keep recycling themselves. If this tomorrow must come, we will have to create it ourselves. But this time, with someone we can trust. Someone who understands our pain. And so I call on every Nigerian youth. Come 2023, come out and vote. Because our vote is our power. When you vote, vote for a man we can trust. Vote for a breath of fresh air. Vote Atiku Abubakar for president.
Back if you just joining us, this is Every Woman on AtikuLive, and today on the studio we're talking about safety and security, examining Alhaji Atiku Abubakar's 5-point agenda. And before we went on the break, we're talking about some of the incidences that happened at the Kaduna rally, and it's really sad to know that something of such, well, I mean, we're talking about insecurity, and we've seen the high rate of insecurity in Nigeria, and it keeps going by the day. And you have a sitting governor who was live, present in his state, and was aware that there was such an attack that happened. And I don't think he actually came out to condemn.
Nothing.
I don't think he came out to condemn the attack that happened at the PDP rally, which is really sad. Really sad. And when we know for a fact that in recent times, the insecurity, or more so to say, lack of insecurity has been on the lips of everybody these days. On Sunday, just Sunday here, we had a circular that was released by, it was being shared, circulated by the U.S. Embassy to actually prompt residents in Abuja to be wary of crowded spaces and crowded places like shopping malls and religious houses, markets, lounges, restaurants, and the likes. And then it brings me to wonder, are you actually asking people to stay at home so people do not have the freedom to move freely again? And how do people go about their businesses? We have a high inflation rate right now in Nigeria. People are suffering, people are impoverished, and you are weaponizing poverty. At the same time, you're not able to create a peaceful environment where people can go about their businesses and get money. And it took the U.S. Embassy to actually circulate this information. And it's really sad. It's really sad. I know the APC government has 4 or less months to leave Nigeria's Aso Rock and leave because it's really sad. It's really sad. The change that was promised in 2015 is deteriorating by the day.
It's not the change we want.
How do you leave a government, or how do you leave a people in abject poverty?
I mean, for me, there's nothing as bad as insecurity, because the one thing that you have just one of is your life, and it is the job of whoever you're voting into power to secure that, to provide that security for you. And if the person is not doing that, then they have no business being there. Now, last month, we had a sitting senator who was attacked in Anambra State. Here in Kaduna State, we had attacks at a rally where a presidential aspirant was available, presidential candidate was going to be. I don't know if you understand how much security is there and how, what it means for these people to get attacked. On Sunday, I was in somewhere around Auchi, and that same evening, Apostle Johnson Suleiman's,
convoy was attacked, and over 7 people,
4
5 killed. Yeah.
And we still don't understand how much of
the gravity of it. Yeah.
Insecurity is. And it comes down. We're looking at this is the problem that has come with the APC government that has to be addressed. And what is the plans? I mean, His Excellency Peter Obi has said that he will not talk about his plans. So let's talk about the people who actually have plans and they're willing to share their plans with Nigeria. They're saying, this is my plan. Punch holes in this plan if you can. Take swipes at it if you can. If you find something wrong with it, it's not the first time he's going to be giving a solution that we've seen practicable. We've seen when he preferred the solution and said NNPC should be privatized, and he was attacked and all that. And at the end of the day, NNPC is privatized. So he's not saying, I'm going to hoard my ideas, I'm going to keep them unless I become president. I'm sure he's happy that NNPC has been privatized, even if he's not directly responsible for it, because at the end of the day, the interest is Nigeria.
True.
So he has said this thing. He has said it previously. He has said it in previous years, and nothing has been done. He said, let's state policing. That's his own. Let there be state policing. And this is why there should be state policing. One, because the people, right now, power is concentrated at the center. And that's a problem. It means that the policeman in Delta, in local government in Delta, maybe Yale North, for example, reports, all of them at the end of the day report to the Commissioner of Police. The Commissioner of Police reports straight to the IG. That's how it works. It means that the governor of a state in Nigeria has no control over the policemen in the office, in his state. That's what it means.
Yeah.
The governor of a state has absolutely no control over policemen because they report directly to the IG.
Which is
totally bad, because the governor is supposed to be the chief security officer of the state.
Yeah.
So how can a chief security officer not have control of the security apparatus in his own state? I know what the obvious excuses would be, that they will abuse it and all. But let's look at the lives of Nigerians that are being lost, and let's look at this state policing and how it could even be helpful. Now, we've seen vigilantes and local security networks. We've seen the Atiku, for example, doing things. In the Apostle Johnson Suleiman case, for example, it was still these local security networks that apprehended one of these vigilantes, apprehended one of the suspects, the suspect for the
attack,
and handed the suspect over to the police. The police shot him there. They shot him instantly. And people have suggested that maybe the police is complicit in this matter or something, but it was still, I'm saying that it's these guys who are, apprehended this suspect. In the Owo killings, it was still Amoteku who apprehended the suspects of this killing. If you look at the north, where there's been a lot of insecurity, especially in places like Borno State, you see that this civilian military relationship, police relationship has helped them to apprehend a lot of people that are behind these attacks. It goes to show they have more stake in the community. If this is my community, I'm not going to play politics with my community.
True.
I'm not going to let you burn down my community in the name of politics. I'm not going to let you burn down villages. I'm not going to let you destroy my house, destroy my property, kidnap my family. I will not let you do that because I have a direct stake. That's one. Two is that these people know the terrain. So in the area where you live, you probably know the shortcuts, you know the areas around, you know where to pass through, at what time, you know who, if you go back to your village now, you know whose family lives here and whose family, and that's the kind of communal living. You know, that's the way we live in Nigeria. Your grandparents will tell you that these people's family live here, this is the last son in this family, these people, like, they have this information, they know all these things. So when you come to these places, these indigenes are the ones that understand the terrain. They know their community better than any outsider will know their community. They understand the terrain, they know the families. That's very important. So if I know one person in my street that I know has joined gang, I know this person has joined gang, I know that this person is a suspicious character. You cannot come from developed countries do this. We have state police in US. And there's a reason these things are there.
True, and it just goes on to tell us about the efforts that our candidate is doing in terms of insecurity, tackling insecurity in Nigeria. And aside recommending state policing, he's also talked about retraining security personnel. He's also talked about more recruitment of security personnel to meet up the rising number of Nigerians, and it's really something we really applaud, because it's something that should be done and be looked into. Insecurity is not something we have to joke with. Insecurity is not something we are going to be playing with, especially come 2023. This is the much we can take on today's episode of Every Woman and Safety and Security. I think IJC has something to say quickly. Let's just take that, because I just been on the field and you have really experienced what we've been talking about. Really,
it's just sad. Like, you go out and you see that people's lives are being put at risk every day, and to know that all this is happening amidst security votes that are being given monthly, it will shock you to know that some states are getting as much as 37 billion naira annually, 2 billion naira monthly, 800 million, 200 million, 300 million monthly security votes. And yet, we cannot, why is all this money being spent and we cannot see the results? That's something that, it just starts. Security, if we are going to have a Nigeria that you want to be president over, if you are going to have a Nigeria, we need to have Nigerians in it. We can't have Nigeria when all the Nigerians have been killed.
True.
That's it.
All right, guys, we will see you again tomorrow. Have a beautiful time. It's been a good time with you all joining us on today's episode. Please do well to send us what you think on our social media handles. My name is Tiana Wobasi. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day.
My name is Ijama. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Atiku is one of the unifying factors that Nigeria needs now. If you look at the scenario of what is happening in Nigeria right now, you'll find out that Nigeria needs a unifier, somebody that can break the ties and able to stop these issues of insurgencies in every area of the country. I like Atiku Abubakar because he believes in human resource. He believes in raising men. You understand me? He believes in the youth. And also, he believed in one Nigeria. I believe in his fatherhood and his legacy that he had laid before with the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo. He worked perfectly, and at least in Nigeria as a whole, they are one of the best government under the support of Atiku Abubakar. So I believe in his candidacy, and I believe in his presidential aspirant for 2023. And I believe that he will do better.
As one, we can get it done.